1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Somos 9. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing like a mishmash of different things. I'm going to be going through my May TBR, and I'm also going to be doing the stay at home tag, which I was tagged in by one of my friends. So yeah, let's get started. Let's start with the May TBR. So, as a general rule, I don't make TBRs, like monthly TBRs, because I'm notoriously terrible at sticking to them because I'm a big mood reader. But I wanted to do something a little bit different from May, so I made a TBR, especially because I'm hoping that if I actually make this TBR, I'll stick to it. So we'll see. So what am I going to be doing in May? I am going to be reading 5 books at the same time. There's a story. All of these books are short stories or essays or articles, and I've started most of them. I think I've started all of them. I've actually started all of these books and never finished them because I have a really hard time just reading one whole like anthology or collection the whole way through in one sitting. I normally don't read more than one book at once. I don't like reading 2 or 3 books at the same time unless it's for work or university. But I'm going to try it this month because I'm hoping that the system will help me finish all these books. So what I'm going to be doing is that I will be reading 1 or 2 essays, short stories, whatever, and then I'll switch books. And I'm hoping that by doing that, by continuously switching, it'll stop me from getting bored and it'll help me finish these books. So either I will switch continuously throughout the month and finish these books, or I will fail epically. What will happen? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. So let's go through these books. The first book is Los Otros Cuerpos. This is an LGBT plus anthology written by Puerto Rican writers from the island and the diaspora. And I've had it for a while, and I started it and never finished it. And it has short stories, poems, literary studies, personal essays, which I'm like super interested by, but I've never finished it. I think I got like 2 short stories in and then I stopped. So hopefully this system will help me finish this book. Book number 2 is Ordinary Girls by Jaquira Diaz. Jaquira Diaz is a Puerto Rican essayist. I read her essay Beach City while I was in college and I loved it. So when this came out, late last year, I literally sprinted to the store to go buy it. And as you can see, it already has tabs, which means that I started reading. I read about 1 essay, I think, and then I stopped. So, yeah. Book number 3 is X by Chuck Klosterman. Chuck Klosterman is he's a reporter, something, I don't know. He's a writer. And he writes articles, and this collection of articles is about sports and music. My annotations got up to like page 70-ish, so I read a decent chunk, but again, I stopped, never finished. So I'm hoping that by including it in this challenge that I'm posing for myself in May, I will actually finish it. So my 4th book for the month is San Francisco Stories by Jack London. This I bought because I read Jack London's South of the Slot short story while I was a sophomore in college, and I loved it, and I wanted the whole book because I wanted to have it like physical, not just like 5 loose leaf papers like floating about. I wanted the book. And I also wanted to read more from this author, so I bought the book. I got about 2 short stories in, and then, as is the trending theme amongst all of these books, what did I do? I stopped reading. So here's hoping. And then finally, my last book is The Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales by the Grimm Brothers. This is a collection of all of the fairy tales written by the Grimm Brothers. I think it has like 150 like fairy tales. And I think I read about 20 of them, but I stopped, never started again, and so this is why I'm including it in May, because it's a bunch of different stories, so I feel that it fits perfectly with what I'm trying to accomplish in May. So that's going to be my May TBR. I'm hoping that if I continue this pattern of switching, it'll help me finish these books. I usually am weary. Do I know how to English? My bachelor's degree would say yes. I would say no. I'm usually worried. I'm going to go with worried, to read more than one book at a time, because I feel like I might get them confused, or I might be more into one book than I might be in the other, so I might just never finish the other book that I've started. But I'm hoping that since these are all very different, switching back and forth will help me persevere throughout all of this and finish all these books. I'm also going to include one other book that you might be seeing me read. Another book that you might be seeing around in April and also in May is City of Bones. Now, if you remember from my March wrap-up, I've already read City of Bones, but I have teamed up with 8 other lovely ladies, and we are officially the Twilight Therapy Club, and we have decided that we are going to take on Cassandra Clare together. 18 books as of this current recording, and we're just gonna have live shows every month, and we're gonna alternate on our channels. The first live show is going to be happening on May 17th on Esme's channel, and it's gonna be a grand old time. And so since I'm now going to be discussing this book with 8 other people, I need to, I don't know if reread is the right word, but basically a little bit of a reread to like go back and fully annotate this and have my notes ready. Because as you can see, I have like 2 little tabs, but those are just like 2 quotes that I liked about a character, and I tabbed them, but I didn't like fully annotate and tab, and I'm not ready to discuss this completely. So that's what I'm going to be doing in April and maybe May. I don't know where this will end up. It'll end up where I have the time to read it. So yeah, that's going to be my May TBR. I'm excited to take on this challenge. I think it's going to be fun, and hopefully I succeed. As I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not only doing my May TBR, I'm also going to be doing the stay at home tag. My friend Esme tagged me her channel is Esme at Girl Power, and I will be linking it down below, as well as linking the original creator of the tag. It's 9 prompts, and we're just gonna go through them. Okay, prompt number 1, laying in bed, a book that you could or have read in one day. Get ready to see this book all over my channel because I cannot stop screaming about it. This book is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McCriston. This is a new adult rom-com, which is so strange for me to be reading because I don't normally read romance where the entire plot is centers around romance, but I don't also know if I can. I mean, this is definitely a romance, but oh geez, I devoured this. So the first time I read it in my Kindle because I was so excited to read it that I couldn't wait to go get a physical copy. So I bought it on my Kindle, and as soon as I finished it, I ran out to the store and went and got this. I actually, when I bought it on my Kindle, I read it in one day. Like that, this entire book of, oh geez, how many pages is this? Like 418 pages. I read all of these in one sitting, basically. So yeah, it was a fun time. I've read this. I've reread this 3 more times, which is why you can see it has all the tabs from my annotations. And it's just a great book that I recommend to absolutely everyone. So if you haven't read it and you want a good, fluffy, like actually like with great characters romance, go pick this up. I might actually be doing a full review on this because I literally cannot stop shouting about this book. So we'll see. Prompt number 2 is Snacking, a guilty pleasure book. I'm kidding. I actually picked out 2. One is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, and the other one is Wake by Lisa Mackman. I picked both of these books because this one because it's just a quick read and I love it. I say that, and even though it's a thick book, but also this is a mass market paperback edition, so it looks thicker. This is actually quite a quick read, and it's so enthralling. The chisme in this is so good, and I just loved it and devoured it in like 2 days. And this I picked because this is one of my favorite YA novels, and it has been this way for a long time. I reread this at least maybe like either every year or like every 2 years I reread this. Some parts of it haven't aged super well, mainly just like one part that's not super big. It was such a super big part of the plot, but otherwise I am still continually in love with this book. I recently reread it in October, and man, I loved it just as much as I did the first time. So yeah, these are my guilty pleasure reads. Prompt number 3, Netflix series you want to start. It comes back. I have technically already started this, but I'm still counting it because I literally just started it, and also I am taking on the full force that is Cassandra Clare's entire Shadowhunters Chronicle. So we're not just doing the Mortal Instruments, we are doing the entire Shadowhunter Chronicles. So it's gonna be a fun time. I think this is gonna be an interesting time, seeing the 9 of us like read through all of these books and all the yelling that will go on in the group chat. So yeah, I'm excited to delve deeper into the Shadowhunter Chronicles and everything that it has in store for me. Prompt number 4 is Deep Clean, a book that has been on your TBR for ages, and that is The Forbidden Game by L.J. Smith. This is actually the book that I am currently working on right now. If you saw my March TBR, you might also say you've already read this book. No, I haven't. I've read only one of the books, because The Forbidden Game is actually a trilogy, and I read The Hunter back in March. I am currently reading The Chase. So I am about here in the book. According to Goodreads, I am about 44% of the way through this gigantic edition of The Forbidden Game. So yeah, this has been on my TBR for far too long. I talked about it in my books I need to read in 2020 video, and I'm hoping to finish it soon. It's going well. It's going really, really well. So yeah, you also got a little bit of a reading update right there. Prompt number 5 is Animal Crossing, a book you recently bought because of hype. I didn't buy this super recently, but it is the most recent book I've purchased because of hype, and that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I saw this all over book Twitter, and I needed to know what it was about, and so I bought it. I haven't read it yet. Hopefully I'll get to it sometime soon. But yeah, this is what I bought because of hype. Book Twitter hype. Prompt number 6, productivity, a book that you have learned from or had an impact on you. I'm kidding. That would be Catch and Kill by Ronan Farrow. This is it a memoir? I don't even know. It's nonfiction. And it is, Ronan Farrow, if you don't know, is the reporter that did a lot of the expose work on the sexual harassment allegations against Harvey Weinstein, which he has now been convicted of. And in this book, Farrow retells how he went about his reporting, how he was followed, spied on, so was his partner, and just like all the lies and the spies and the conspiracies that were wrapped up in the whole Harvey Weinstein scandal. I learned a lot from this book. It impacted me how much all these women were made to suffer, and like how hard it was for this journalist to even get a straight answer from one person, let alone a whole industry that didn't want to hold this man accountable. So definitely a good read. You should all read it. Prompt number 7, FaceTime, a book that you were gifted. The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. You might remember this from my books I have to read in 2020 video. This was given to me, I think over Christmas, I think that's what I settled on, by one of my best friends. He got it for me while he was living in San Francisco, and he brought it back for me, and I haven't read it yet, but I will soon, so soon. But yeah, The Honeymooners, and I'm so excited to read it. Prompt number 8, self-care. What is one thing that you've been doing to look after yourself? Baking. Last Saturday, I popped in an audiobook that my friend Taylor sent me. It was Call Me By Your Name, and I listened to it while I baked a bunch of cookies. I made some banana bread cookies, chocolate chip cookies, oatmeal cookies, and carrot cake cookies, all from scratch. So yeah, baking, that's what I did. And prompt number 9 is bonus. Name a book that's coming out soon. It's not coming out till September, and I haven't gotten far enough to be able to read it yet, but The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare. Part of the reason why I started reading the Shadowhunter Chronicles was because I wanted to read more about Magnus and Alec, and they're getting their own trilogy, and the second book comes out in September, and I am super excited for it. So yeah, that has been my stay-at-home tag. Thank you so much for watching my video and for joining me on this wild ride that was these two entirely different things. More videos are coming on my channel soon. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you want to hear more about the Shadowhunters live shows. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.